Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me this evening. Now this video is to complete my Margarete Miller challenge of 2024. For those of you that follow my channel regularly know that I did the Margarete Miller Collage Weekly Challenge, and it runs for the whole year, and these are the projects that I did following the prompts that Margarete Miller gave. For those of you who don't know about Margarete Miller's challenge, what she does is she releases every week some prompts, and you make a collage piece trying to incorporate the prompts, and there's generally 5 prompts. Sometimes there's 6, but generally 5, and she gives you a bonus prompt as well. So you can include them all if you like, but if there's one that you want to leave out because you haven't got, or you haven't got whatever it is, you can use the bonus in lieu of. But last year I incorporated everything on each of the challenges. So what I've just done is I've spent a couple of hours today trimming them down. Now, for those of you who are going to participate in the future, and if you're going to use like a method like this for doing your collages, what I did, I did them on an individual piece of cardstock paper. This was 140 GSM paper really, and or 160, I can't remember now, and I did the project piece on it. So now I've got to incorporate all of these and use some sort of hinging method to put that into my book. Now, I wasn't that brilliant. I don't know how I did it, but when I put all my pieces together, some of them were a lot bigger. You know, my measuring had obviously gone off kilter, so I've had to trim quite a bit off some of the pieces. And what I tried to do was work within a 1 centimetre border, and have the my collage piece in the middle. So now, because I've trimmed some some of them, the larger ones, there is no longer a 1 centimetre border on the outside. So do bear that in mind. If you're using a method like this, make sure that you're quite strict with yourself on your measuring, and that way you won't end up with having to spend a couple of hours trimming all the edges to make them all look uniform for putting inside your journal. So now I've got to make some sort of hinge system to attach these into my journal, and I'll show you what I'm going to do in a minute. And I took the idea from Carol over at Oak House Journals, because this is how she makes her collage journal, puts them all together. She makes individual hinges for these and puts them into signatures. And then she, if I remember rightly, she used a book and took all the innards out of a book and used the cover. I think it was a dictionary, if I remember, and used the dictionary, and she altered the front of the dictionary to house all her pieces. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a cereal box. So I'm going to pop these to one side, and as you can see, they're fairly uniform now, and quite a lot of work has gone into them. Some bits have poked out the top, as you can see, where I've had to trim down the top a little bit as well. So some pieces are sticking a bit proud, but I don't mind, I don't mind that. But when you actually see the flip through on the journal, I'm hoping that it hasn't spoiled the overall look of the collages, because they'll have varying sized borders around the outside, and some of them won't have any borders at all. So I'm just going to pop these to one side, and then I'll show you what I've been doing. So I've got myself a cereal box, and excuse my arm a minute, and it's just a normal cereal box from the supermarket, and this fits perfectly. All of my collages actually fit into this perfectly. It's a perfect size, but I've got to trim the outside, you know, to make them so that it's not sticking out too much, because obviously you can see that this is miles too big. Now I've kept this because I didn't know whether to do a bit of a flip round and have some sort of fancy closure, but I'd have to rescore down here and then strengthen this, because obviously that's creased and it'll keep wanting to bend that way. So if I trim it back and cut it all off altogether, you know, I need to cut it so that it's you know, probably around that mark there really, and take all of it off, or trim that off, reinforce this part and score down to there, and then have a flip over. But at the moment I'm leaning towards scoring it down there and just having a tie closure at the moment. So I've kept the nice clean part on the outside, and to reinforce my edges I've glued them down. Now I've glued them with collage glue, and I'm not sure whether that's going to hold because it's quite shiny, the outside of this cereal box, hence the pegs. So I'll just put those to one side there, and you can see what I've done. So I'm not sure whether it is actually going to hold. I might have to get, I should have got my bookbinding glue really, and glued it with that, because it's a lot stronger. So I'll just give it a few minutes just to see if it will go off. So that'll be like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut that piece off now, I think. Make my decision. So to get the size of my journal page, I need to take, let's have a look, probably an inch off each side, an inch off there. So if I mark that, and we can cut that off, and then we'll do the other side, trim down the other side. So I'll take these clips off and get my is this straight? Let's have a look. Let's just raise it up a little bit, and I go to there. Oops. go. Let's just see if we're cooking on gas. And it appears to be straight. And then we want to do this side as well. So take that clip, move it down slightly. And then we'll do the same here. Let's have a look. And it was about an inch from the edge there. So if we mark that, there we go. And put that on that line. Just making sure if I go for that spotted line, 3, 3 and a bit. There we go. There we are. So let's have a look now. Yep, they're super duper. So we'll leave this to dry off a bit now, and I'll pause the video and I'll work on my hinges for the signatures, and then I'll come back and show you what the next plan is. Now all I've done is I've turned these back and I've taken a little wedge out of there and out of there, but I've left this straight in the middle, and that is just so it doesn't interfere with the I might just need to snip that a little piece off that one as well. It's just so it doesn't interfere with the creases in the corner. And then what I'll do is I'll reinforce these by using some masking tape. So I'll get that now and we'll pop that on. So this is normal builder's masking tape, and I like to put it over the creases on the spine, because it does actually give it added strength. I'll do the other side as well. And just cut that bit off there. And then we'll just crease it. I'll just use my ruler just to help it bend a bit. And there as well. There we go. Just score down the back side there. There we go. Lovely. And then what we'll do then is think about what to put on the outside and on the inside as well to decorate. And I'll need something fairly thick paper because this is quite bright. I could gesso that down by painting it just to make it lighter so that the print doesn't come through. Sometimes what I do is I use an old bed sheet and I cover it all in an old bed sheet, and that gives it added strength as well. So we'll leave it as is, and then I'll come back. So I'll say bye for now. Hi everybody, welcome back. And you're never going to believe what I've done. Am I right, numpty? I filmed the second part of my video showing you how I make the hinges for the journal that I'm doing. And I must have pressed the zoom in button, so you couldn't see anything. Everything was ginormous and you could just see the back of my hand. And so the whole video was actually spoiled. So I'm going to do, this is a take 2, but I'm not going to start from scratch. I'm going to show you that the hinges that I made and explain what I've done, because obviously I've got the hinges now and I don't want to make any more. But what I did, I got some copier paper and I cut them into strips. If you imagine that this is joined together, and I measured an 8 centimetre strip and folded it in half. So I got the 8 centimetre strip, folded it in half, and then I opened it back up, and along this half I attached a strip of masking tape down the centre. And once it was firmly down, I then applied glue all over that one side and I folded them back in half, and this gives me a piece of copier paper folded in half with a strip of masking tape running down the middle. And then what you do is you produce 14 of those to do this particular journal. Obviously it depends on how many pages you've got. If you wanted to use this method for doing a journal of your own, And then what I've done then is folded them in half. I've left them overnight to dry because obviously I've been using collage glue, which is a wet glue, and it did soak into the paper quite a bit, so they were quite wet. So leaving them overnight has made them nice and firm, and they're nice and crisp. And then what I've done is I've taken one of my pages, because I've made them a little bit longer, because some of my pages are slightly, you know, might be a millimetre or something longer. So I'm leaving them longer, and then I'm cutting them down to size when I apply them to my collage. Now, what I'm doing is I'm pairing them into twos. So I'm putting one inside the other. So we'll do another one now. And then I'll just score that down the middle with my ruler. A ruler's as good as a bone folder. And I think that's about roughly the same size. And then they'll be placed inside one another like that. And then what you do then is you get your page. So this is the next page that I'll be working on, and it's actually my page 18, and this is one of my collage pieces. And I'll take out that for now and flatten this out. And then with some, I'm using this book binding glue, and I've had this a long time. It's lasted me a long time, but unfortunately it fell out my cupboard, so the bottom got cracked when it was fairly new. And then all I'm doing then is applying this to my paper. And my brush is set now because it's been left on the side, so I should have rinsed it out, but it'll be okay just for applying a bit of glue. There we go. And then I'm putting that down on my board and applying this up to the fold in the middle, and it's perhaps just a hair's breadth away from the fold. Just to give us a bit of wiggle room when we're folding the paper. And then I'm cutting the excess off the bottom, like so. And then, so that's my page there. And then what we need to do then is apply this page, the next page should I say, which is, sorry, this page is my page 17. So I'm putting 18 on the back here and keeping my prompts to one side. So this is my page 18. And we're going to be doing the same there, but this time I'm applying my glue over the whole of the page. go. I'll have to go and run this under the tap, clean my brush once I've done this one. There we go. So what we need to do then is match it up with the bottom and get it. What I've been doing is matching it up at the edge here as well. There we go. So that's them 2 pages down. But you've got to remember when you're putting your pages in that this is page 17, 18. You don't put page 19 here because you're putting 2 of these together. So you put 19 on your second strip. And then place it in the middle without gluing it down or anything. And then you put strip your page 20 on here, 21 on there, 22 on here, 23 on there, and 24 on this back piece. But one thing you've got to remember, if you're doing one of these collage journals, I'll just move this to one side and I'll bring in pages that I've already done. I'll show you what I mean. So this is my page 1. So I've kept my prompts to one side and I've got my page 1. There's page 2. And then what I've done is I've put my prompts on a strip of card. So I've put my page 2 prompts, my page 3 prompts, because this is obviously page 3 here. So they will sit there. And then that's page 4. So on the back of this piece, sorry, that's page 4. 1, 2, 3, that's page 4. And because this is your centre, the middle piece, before I stick my second page on here, which is page 5, I've got just a single piece of card here with just enough cut off to make a flap, and I've put that underneath this page because this is going to be the middle of my signature. There's only going to be 2 pages to the, you know, the actual signature. So that's page 4, page 5, and then page 6 will go on this side, which is, that's 2, 3, and then it jumps to 6, and then you've got page 7 here. So that will get sewn into the middle of the signature there. And then when I come to stitch this section in, I'll have 1 on there and on a separate piece on a flap, which will get put underneath the cover of my journal. When I do the cover, that will go, you know, I'll have a an extra piece of card, extra long, and it'll be folded here, and that will be underneath my cover page, because this is my page 8, and page 8, this is my second signature. So I've got 8, 9, which is this page, 10, and same again. We've got a flap here, and page 11, and then this is the middle section here. So I've done a smaller piece of card, put 12 and 13 on, and glued it underneath this page here. And then you go on to page 14, 15, and then 16 goes on the back of this one here, page 17, and then that's what we've just done here. So we've got page 17 there, so that will flip there. That's page 18. So I've got to put this now onto a strip of card. So what I've done is I've got my card here, and I've measured my text piece with my prompts, and I'm going to use this nice straight edge. But also what you've got to remember is that you're pasting them on the right side of your card as well. So if I go back to this, this is my page 17, and that's my page 18. So I want, if you imagine, let me just cut the strip first, and then you'll see, otherwise it'll get confusing. So I'll just mark my strip there a little bit, and we'll come down to the bottom here. So we've got that. And I'll just move it up a minute. It's a bit long. Finish this piece here. Right. So, where's my two? They're my two pieces of spine. And then we've already got page 17. So this is going to be sandwiched in between here, like so. So you've got to put your 18 on this side, and then 19 will go on here for this page. That's going to be glued here. So let's get number 18, and we'll put it on the back here. Oops, is it? So that's page 18, and I've got to work fairly quickly because it's only copier paper, and this glue sticks quite quickly. There we go. So that's number 18. And then on the back side of that, we'll put number 19. There we go. There we go. Make sure we've got it the right way up. And we'll stick that down to the edge. There we go. So that's number 19. And that's going to be, so we've got 17, 18, so we have a little, oops, crease down there. Get it in the middle. And then 20 won't go on there. We've got 18, 19 will go on there. So this is number 19. We'll just clip it on for now so we can see where we're going. And I'll just cut the bottom of that off. We'll put a clip on there. So that's number 19, which will be there. And then we're going to have page 20, which will be on the back here. So I can put a clip there and a clip here. Just quickly, it's only roughly, so you get the idea. So we've got 17, 18, 19, page 20. So page 20 is going to be on this side. And that's when you need another piece of card. So we'd have 20 and 21. 20 and 21 attached to there. So I'm going to put a clip on there. And 21, and we can cut this now to cause our flap. And then we've got page, wait a second, make sure we've got it on the right side, 19, 20. So we need to do that slightly differently. It needs to come this end. So this is where your clips come in useful, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to pop it under the page. So what we do now is do a fold, a score line backwards like that. So this is wait a second, I'm getting myself in a fuddle now. 19, page 20. That's right. So now, before you glue that down, that's going to be underneath there. So that will be your page 20. And then you'll have page 21 on there. So we'll glue that down. '21, and then you've got page 22 on the back of here. So we'll clip that there. Clip that there for now, just roughly. That's page 22. So then you would glue then your page 22 onto here, leaving a little bit of a space. This will get cut off, so I won't cut it off now because I want to make sure I've got enough room. And then you've got page 23 will go on the back of there. And you'll have your other signature then. So we've got 22. That'll be there. Hang on, let me just make sure I'm telling you right. Yeah, we were right. So just recap again. We've got page 18 here, 19, 20 and 21, 22, that will flap there with 23 on the back of here. So I'll put a clip on there. 23, and then this page will be glued onto there, onto that last flap, and the next page will be glued onto the back of there. And then you start your new signature. And you know, you start numbering again. So you'd have this on the front of this next page on a new set of spines, and it'll be wrapped round on the outside of this one to cover this page. Page 24 there. So I hope that makes sense for you, everybody, and not too confusing. If you want me to go over anything, you know, please leave me a message below, and I can recap, or you can replay the video, and you know, if that helps. But it's, you know, before you start gluing everything down, you know, just go over your numbers, and you know, that'll help you then. So I'll move this to one side and I'll go over the previous one that I showed you, and you can see what I mean. So we've got, this is loose at the moment, number 1, because I can't stick that down until we do the book, the cover for the journal. So that's why I've got that there. So we've got page 1, page 2, and my spine is sandwiched in the middle. And then I've got my paper with page 2 and 3 on the back. And then my second spine is there with page 3 and page 4. And then this is a single piece. Instead of it being the full strip, it's a smaller section with a score line. That's tucked underneath, and it's got page 4 and 5 to serve these two that are in the middle. You know, it doesn't need to go right the way round like this one does. You know, you've got four prompts attached to that, whereas this one's only got 2 for the middle 2 pages. Okay, so that's page 6, page 7, and then your spine starts again. So you have another double of these, and as you can see, it's got page 8 and page 17. So you've got page 8, and then you've got page 9 there, page 10, and then another one of these double pieces. So you've got a double piece there with 11, page 10 and 11. Then you've got a single piece with just the 2 on in the middle of that section there. And then you've got page 14, 15, 16, and then 17 is on the back, ready to go on my third set of spines. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and I'm going to sign off again now, and while I do the third signature, I'm not going to show you any more. I'll come towards the end of the video when we come to do the sewing in, etc. So I'll say I'll see you in a bit. Hi everybody, welcome back. This little clip is going to be really quick because I want to do some editing and get this video out this evening, and it's just to tell you that I've finished all my signatures now. I haven't done the cover as yet, that's going to be on a separate video, but as you can see, all 7 signatures are all together, and they've all got their prompts fastened in. So we're almost ready to sew them in, but I want to cover obviously the inside of the cover and do something on the outside as well. So it was a bit laborious doing this, and I didn't want to do it on video because it was a bit time consuming. My pages have gone a bit wobbly because obviously the glue I've been using is a wet glue, and maybe they might not have been so wibbly wobbly if I'd used 3-in-1 or Fab-O-Tac, but I wanted to try out this bookbinding glue, and it has been really good. It's really strong, but it goes off really quickly, and so you've got to really make sure that you've got your pages in the right order, and because once they're down, they're down. there's no going back. So it's not quite as tidy as I was hoping it would be, but it's only for, it's, you know, for my own personal use. It's not going to be sold or anything, because there are images in here that aren't copyright free as well. I just wanted to point that out, you know, in case some of you notice that there are images that aren't in the public domain. But this journal, journal, when it's finished, is just for my own personal collection, so I can look back on the collages that I've done. Not sure whether I'm going to be doing another year of them, unless I change a format. I might do 6x4 cards, because there are quite a few people who do the Margarete Miller, but instead of doing it on large pieces like this, they do it on a 6x4 postcard size, and then, you know, put them in an index box, you know, to store them in, because obviously if you're doing this, it's having somewhere to store all the journals as well. You know, as crafters have got enough stuff as it is, without, you know, adding any more bulk really, or I have anyway personally, because I haven't got a craft room, which makes it more difficult, because I haven't got the space to store everything in. So what I will do now is finish this video off tonight and try and get it into YouTube and out in the public domain, and then I'll do another video doing the cover. And before I finish, I just wanted, for those of you who follow me regularly, know that our young pup, well, he's a year old now, he's 15 months old, Jasper, his working cocker, he was diagnosed with cancer just after his first birthday, and it was such a shock, and he had to have surgery, and he had a large tumour removed from his neck, and it's been we've been on tender hooks since then, because we've had to wait till January. That was in October when he had his surgery, so we've had to wait till January for him to have another scan and to have more biopsies taken, which we did on Monday. We took him to the veterinary hospital in Bristol, and he had his scan, and it's good news. The results came back yesterday, and the oncologist telephoned me and said that there was no cancer cells seen in the tissue samples that they took from the remaining lymph glands in his neck, and so, you know, she's just going to review him in 6 months time, so to make sure that he's got no further spread. So we're absolutely thrilled to bits that it was positive news for us. Obviously, you know, there's no guarantees that things might not happen in the future, but for the time being, you know, it's good news, and you know, our prayers have been answered, and yes, I just wanted to tell you, update you on that, in case any of you were wondering. And so I'll say good night for now, and on that note, good news, and I hope that you're all safe and well. If any of you are following me from, you know, America, where they're having the most awful fires at the moment in California, you know, I do keep you in my prayers, and you know, I hope that that things will improve, and they get the fires under control. But I know how difficult and how fast these things spread. But yeah, you're all in my thoughts, and in my prayers too. So I'll say bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.